pre-show is live now, so
Yeah, just we'll do the
start
pre-show.
the show in a moment.
I already talk over Dan right away. That's how bad we're gonna fuck up the show tonight.
I'm here to take suggestions, and that was a good one, so whatever. All right, I've got a list of cards to talk about. Charlie, if you would go over what happened locally. Were you there? Did anything happen locally?
I was there. We had a tournament.
Good, because I, abandoned y'all again.
Indeed.
All right, and did you bring anything else to talk about, Charlie?
Do you want something?
Yeah, always.
I don't know. I thought you were heavy on content tonight, so I did not prep a spoiler, but I will.
I thought it'd be hilarious to make John talk about a 1E card, so there you go.
Oh no, I can do that. You don't even do an introduction, like welcome to Section 31.
Well, I haven't started where I'm actually going to put it out as a podcast yet. This will be out as the video, but if people actually download the show, I'll put in some sound and make it nice. All right, we all ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Section 31, episode number 233. I'm Dan Hammond, and this week I'm joined by the chairman, Charlie, and this guy named John Corbett, who is taking up the mantle of 2E watch list hall monitor. Is that what you do?
Yeah, close enough. Do I have a title? I call myself the Errata Czar. It makes me feel important.
Are you actually going to be putting out cards for errata, or are you just maintaining the list? How do you fit in with the design group?
No, we'll write up a playtest file, and we send that to testing. And if it gets through testing, then it'll go out as errata. It still has to go through playtesting, just like anything else.
So, did that used to be the purview of design or rules, and now it's a separate entity? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it used to be rules, and then what about 2 years ago, Charlie? It went over to design.
Whenever the legacy stuff was
the peak performance clusterfuck. That's fine.
Well,
yeah, okay.
it was legacy because that was the first time we made an errata for a reason other than something was broken. And that's when and Keller was the rules master at the time, had been pushing for design to do it for a while, and we just never done it. And then we were like, we really need to make this change, and he's like, fine, design is in charge of errata now, and we took it and ran with it. We just opened up some more options, really.
God bless Keller. Rest in peace, that miserable fuck. God, I miss that little plus-face bastard.
Hey, he's still around. He's got his games kickstarted. He's probably doing good stuff. So.
He scrounged up enough money yet for that thing?
Yeah, they got 2 of them got made. I don't know whatever happened to it, but they definitely got they got enough money. So.
I'm glad. I'm actually glad he got it off the ground because it was a couple of years ago at Gen Con. It was in his rough stages, and he's sitting at a table just trying to get people to. He's like, John, do you want to play my game? And I kind of felt, I was just like, no, Mike, I'm sorry. Like, it was about being a mayor of a city, and I'm like, yeah. He's trying to sell it to me, and I'm like, that's not my cup of tea, dude. But I'm glad he got it off the ground. I saw him, he was giving a seminar. I saw on the Google Plus or whatever, he was giving a seminar about game design. I watched a little bit of it. Actually, you learn something. Keller's always a smart dude. I hope it works out for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is any kind of Kickstarter or fund anything, is that anything we can touch, Charlie, at all to get anything done around here? If we want to do some kind of side prizes or any kind of organization or server update, or is that just drawing too much attention our way?
I mean, I suppose we could. I just don't know that we would. I don't know it would be worth it because going through Kickstarter is a lot of work. There's a lot of you have to dot your I's and cross your T's on all this, legal mumbo jumbo, and all the payments come through Amazon, so you have to do things in a very specific way. And I don't know that we would draw anybody outside of our community. We couldn't just run it on our own, we couldn't just do donate here, and if we reach this dollar amount, we'll do the thing.
If anyone's watching, Charlie just got done an extensive workout. That's why he's rocking the boxing towel, in case anyone knows.
No, just really fat and hot in my room. So.
San Diego, isn't it 78 degrees?
It's
all
nice
day, every day?
everywhere but my room. For whatever reason, this house is 15 to 20 degrees hotter than everywhere else. So it's like 70 degrees and cool out in the living room. I mean, I'm freaking baking in here. That's just the way it is.
That's messed up. They put you in the basement, in that dark basement, and make you live down there. It puts the lotion on the skin, huh? Is that how it works in San Diego?
This is easier than cleaning. So.
It could be worse. You could be under the stairs, right?
Yeah, it could be.
All right.
There's-
So who showed up this week, Charlie?
It was just a little 4-man local. You were unavailable. Matt was playing Magic. I don't know what Nate was doing, and
He was playing ponies.
maybe. And Rogue was in Hawaii, and you were unavailable. So it was Johnny, TV, myself, and JD. So we
I
played
haven't
Tui.
looked at the results yet. I'm gonna guess Johnny won.
Incorrect. Johnny went 1 and 2. TV swept the table. He played Bajorans. His was, I think, the same Bajoran deck he played at the regional. It was original Bajor with some non-aligned support and integrity missions and just bonus points, like a 2-mission win type of deck. JD got second. He also played Bajorans, but his was new Bajor with orbs and a session, and he was also doing 2-mission win with distant exploration and soul bore and other quadrant missions. He got 2-mission win done even with my Phoenix in play. That's how well my day went. Johnny played Dominion.
Okay, there you go.
So there's a card. Talking about Tui. Shut up, John.
Oh, is this Dewey? Shit.
This is Tui.
I'm not even- it's like a design meeting. Charlie's just rambling on and I'm not paying attention.
You're not even wrong.
I figured you'd be happy Bajorans were winning there, John. Isn't that your team down there?
What do you mean?
Well, you've had a pretty good run with Bajorans in second edition. I don't know.
Yeah, back when I was good at this game. But apparently, in case Dave, if you didn't hear that, apparently I'm washed up. It's over for me. That's the word on the street. So, I don't know. I used to be good with Bajoran.
Anyway, so JD did that. Johnny was playing Dominion. He basically built a Dominion version of TK's ship destruction deck, his TOS battle deck. So he used the basic. Yeah, he used the basic dilemma pile. He modified it a little bit, but then he used the Dominion, and his basic. It was a really neat trick. He used the Kamikaze, the Kazakheim or whatever it is, which Johnny actually designed that ship. I had forgotten that. So he used that ship, which it's destroy this ship. If it's staffed, and download a damage card and put it on an opponent's ship. But he also comboed it with the Jem'Hadar that lets you unstop after battle. So he would Umata-Khan or something.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Not gonna work here anymore. Yeah. So he would fly over and ping you with a damage. He'd battle you. He'd unstop the ship and then blow it up to hit you again. So you'd be sit there with 2 damage markers on your ship, usually putting you at -4 range, which in most cases was enough to strand you. And then the next turn, if he didn't hit you with a damage marker the first mission attempt and blow you up straight out, the next turn he would hit you again, and then you would be done. I played Starfleet. I played Neil's Mirror Starfleet deck because I didn't have a lot of time to build a deck. I needed to play Mirror Starfleet for achievements, and I've been looking to play with no-win situation more. He had a good deck that used that and Mirror Tucker to protect it. So basically, you get it on the table, and then they can't blow it up.
He didn't invent that deck.
I didn't say he invented that deck.
That's a Hosp original. Once again.
I took Neil's version. The only change that I made that I actually really liked was he was using 2 Avengers and 2 Enterprises, and I swapped out 1 of each for 2 of the Starship Defiant, which is a really nice ship.
Yeah, that's the only mirror ship worth anything anymore. That's the only way to go.
Well, the main use of it, it's an 8-range ship for 3. You can blow up an event with it, which is nice, but it also has the optimism order on it, so you can dump your hand really easy and not lose any cards. I went 0-3, so I came in dead last. Mostly just not really knowing how to play the deck. Against Johnny, I screwed up and didn't play a second ship, and then he hit me with a Dreamer with all 4 of my ships in my hand. He Ducated them away, blew up my other ship, and then prevented my a sight for sore eyes, which would have let me pull a ship back out of the discard pile with Edge of Forever. So I was locked out of the game against him. My own fault. I gave JD a run for my money, except I screwed up and ended up wasting some turns. And then Thomas, Thomas is just Thomas. He was, throwing 2 dilemmas and stopping me cold and solving through missions. But I had the most fun going 0-3 I've had in a long time. It was a very low-stress tournament. It was like 3.5 hours. It was done. It was a lot of fun. I gave away... So I got a hold of some Reflections 2.0 packs. And I gave away a couple of those as prizes. So that was fun. And then we played Tribbles.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Talk
about Tribbles. And it was close, and then Thomas went out with Initic in his play pile when Thomas smoked everybody. And I got the Pity Tribble. So I went 0-3 and the Pity Tribble. So I did not have a stellar performing day, but I had a lot of fun.
All right. I heard you mention 2 cards that are on at least one person's watch list, and that was No-Win Scenario, right? And Ducat. Are either of those on the official watch list, John?
No, they are not. I think you're talking about No-Win Situation.
Sorry, No-Win Situation.
That's actually never been brought up to my knowledge before. I mean, it's always been. It is what it is. Now, Ducat. That one's been debated ad nauseum. I mean, but I'm I'm the same way that it's like when people talk about Gum2 or an issue of trust. It's like I got reservations about errating a card that's been out for 5+ years just because. I mean, especially in situations like Ducat also falls into this category. There's already been cards designed to counter those cards. So this doesn't feel to me as an errata issue. This is a design issue.
But this is the exact issue that I think most people, my co-host, who's not here, would have with Ducat. Is he can just make it impossible to come back. I mean, Charlie had ways of getting cards out of his discard pile to come back, but all his ships were just eaten away, and he was gone. Most of the cards in the game that make discard or get rid of things out of your deck, they have an exclusion for things like ships. Is that even a consideration? A minor change like that, or? Yeah,
that's the only thing I could be sold on is a non-ship clause to Ducat's contract. But other than that, I think we just anything has to be done through the design route.
That's such a that's such a minor Most of the time, if you put a ship in your discard pile, you don't have a way to get it back. I happen to have a way to get it back, but it was my own. It was not the game's fault that I lost all of my ships to a Dreamer. It was my own stupid fault for not playing a second ship when all of my ships were in my hand. That was dumb.
Yeah, I've done that. I've lost a game. I've lost a game like that too. I actually did that back at when we did the Corbett Con. I lost the deal because I did the same thing. But I mean, the 2E ships are sacred. They are. They're just sacred because that's the lesson we learned from 1E. Is that's why you can't start fights at headquarters. So, I mean, I know ships. Most things, anything removed from game, 95% of the time says non-ship. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to do it. I'm just saying that's the one thing I could be sold on.
Yeah, I mean, Ducat's a controversial card, and we tested him in a couple. We tested a couple different erratas. The one that the design team liked the most was making him either Cardassian or Bajoran. Was literally changing his affiliation, because that is my biggest problem with Ducat is that he's non-aligned and everybody can use him. That's an ability that should be in the game, and I know Rogue is going to strenuously disagree. There are other players that are going to strenuously disagree. That's okay. Players have different play styles that they like, and any player that likes the ability to use the discard pile as a resource is going to hate any card that denies that as a resource. But as a game concept, everything should have a counter. There should be weapons and there should be threats and answers in a game like this. And if the ability to use the discard pile as a resource exists, there should be cards that attack that.
And there are. There's Holding Cell is tremendously popular as it should be. And then we even took a crack at it in a matter of time with I'm trying to remember what we actually. I know the playtest name for it. It's disconcerting displacement, the temporal interrupts.
Yeah, that's the name. It was the Get Over Here, Scorpion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, you can just I know that the card is tough, but it's supposed to be tough, and I know I think I still stand by that card. I know it hasn't seen any play yet, but if you really hate Ducat, play that card and fucking Scorpion his ass. Get over here, slice his throat, and then your problem solved.
My argument is that there should be something in the game that polices the discard pile. I mean, if there wasn't, like, Ducat got made to screw the Borg, to hose the Borg. That's why Ducat was created. Bajorans were collateral damage on that, and it sucked. But if there was nothing in the game that policed the discard pile, the Borg would be even more unstoppable than they already are with all their crazy shenanigans that they can get going.
So,
the problem with Ducat to this day is it's globally available, and as we're doing more Phase 2 design, that shouldn't be happening. Like, there's a TOS guy that's like, play him at cost +2 to remove 4 cards from a discard pile from the game. That's a great way to do it. There should be certain affiliations that are really good at doing the discard pile, and then it becomes more chess matches, more moves and counter moves. Ducat, it's just you drop him in every deck, and he's almost a no-brainer. He goes in just about every deck, and that's the big problem with him, I think.
Yeah, in hindsight, I don't have a problem with him being non-aligned, but in hindsight, if I had to do it over again, I'd just add a cost to it, like discard a card from hand. I know it's small, but those kind of things add up every turn. Discard one or two cards from hand to use as order.
Oh, I mean, I would not have designed him the way he was if I was doing it again, but he's out there, and we've made a lot of weapons against him, and he serves an important function in the game. Now, I understand there are cards that everybody hates. I have cards that I passionately, vehemently hate, and I am fortunate enough to be in the position to do something about that if I wanted to, but I'm trying to separate my personal feelings of I hate this from my job as a designer. And Rogue hates Ducat, and he's been very loud about it, and I appreciate and respect that. He's not the only one, but he that type of mechanic should be in the game. I wish that he was done differently, and maybe in hindsight we should have pulled a trigger on errata him a long time ago, but we didn't. And I'm kind of with John on the not that the ship has sailed, not that we still couldn't do it, but that and really Return to Grace has only been out a couple months, if that. Metreon Arena's out there in the world now. I'm not sure what kind of impact.
We're getting to the point. We're getting to a point where a lot of these debates we have to start settling with. But just fucking deal with it. Just fucking deal with it. Ducat, insurrection, anything else, just fucking deal with it. That's how we're gonna have to start dealing with some things in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, how do you deal with? I'll go on to something else that's on Rogue's list because I asked him since I knew he wasn't going to be here, and I knew you.
Oh yeah, he sent you to bitch about all his cards. He couldn't come on and face me.
No, he's having a good time in Hawaii, and I extended a hand and asked if there's something he wanted me to faux bitch about. So, Charlie, you used Phoenix, Risen from the Ashes. Is that on anybody's list? Altering the fundamental win conditions of the game.
That's not on mine. It's not on my radar at all.
I don't have a problem with Phoenix. I mean, it's cheesy in Mouth of the Wormhole decks, but I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's just something. I mean, it also slows down. Not that pure speed decks are in fashion and haven't been for a while, but that's also what that was designed for. So, I mean, you're going to see Phoenix once in a blue, and when you do, it's probably going to give you a headache, and it might cost you a scumbag 100 to 100 loss. But I mean. I don't know, Battle's popular. Battle's winning regionals, so.
This is the problem I think with the Phoenix is that the thing that turns the Phoenix off is really hard to do. Like, you can't really you can splash a battle card in any deck, but it's so clunky to do that. I wish that the thing that turned the Phoenix off was different. Was some other option to turn the Phoenix off. I'm a fan of alternate wins. I'm a fan of well done alternate win conditions. I mean, you can botch an alternate win condition. Shut up, John.
Why would he say that? Remember this.
I think that you can do them badly, and I don't think the Phoenix is Phoenix being out there does change the way you build your decks. I would argue that every card in the game changes the way that you build your decks. Every card that exists.
That's a better argument. Because someone, I forget who it was like they hated no new win conditions. So go ahead and I'm 50-50 on them. I don't give a shit. Like you said, if they're good, I'm for anything new as long as it's good. But tell me why alternate win condition is good for business.
It's good for business because it challenges the assumptions about the game. Like, if it means that there exists a situation where I can't assume my opponent is going to do A, B, and C and win. That there might be a case where they're going to do, X, Y, and Z and win, or they're going to do A and B and skip C entirely. And it already exists in a lesser form with 2-mission win versus 3-mission win. I mean, you're going for the same victory condition, but the pace is entirely different. The ticking clock, the pressure on you, the opponent, changes if I'm going for 2-mission win versus I'm going for 3-mission win. An alternate win condition lets you do something like apply pressure in a different area. The runs we have right now are what? Caretakers, the Long Journey Home, and To Rule in Hell, which those apply pressure in that they're pressuring your dilemma pile. Like, I'm actually slowing myself down. I have to go to 4 missions, but your dilemma pile is going to get less and less effective as I go. So, in theory, I think the theory behind those is that it's going to be easier for me to do mission 3 and mission 4 than it is for me to do mission 1 and mission 2, and that puts more pressure on you to get going. I think an alternate win condition, when done well, can challenge you as another player to respond in different ways.
But also you could say that it inspires people to. I mean, it gets a whole new type of deck. Some people, and also fun players. It's like a challenge for casual players. Like, I'm gonna, To Rule in Hell. A lot of people do it. Like, I try it. I like it. It's a challenge. So.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, this is an important thing to remember: is players play the game for different reasons and at different levels. If I like a challenge, if I like to prove myself and do something interesting, I'm going to be drawn to these alternate win conditions, especially if they're harder. You're going to get into trouble when you. The problem is when you can get into alternate win conditions that break the fundamental interaction of the game. Like, if I could win the game without ever attempting a mission, that would be bad. That should never happen.
No, I could be sold either way on it. All right, Dan, go ahead. Tell me another one of Rogue's cards. I just took over the pace and questions of your show. Don't let me hijack your show like this. Go ahead.
Let's go back to the alternate win condition, because I got one question. The alternate win conditions. I mean, sure, I played the Long Journey Home. It's an interesting build. It makes you work, but the problem with the Phoenix is it forces alternate win conditions on the opponent. I think that's really turning the tables, and I mean, it's right up there with biogenic weapon. If you don't plan for it, there's just nothing you can do, right?
Well, I don't think doing 4 space or 4 planet is something that you have to prepare for.
I see what Dan's point is. If I'm playing the Long Journey Home, that doesn't really affect what you're doing. Whereas if I drop the Phoenix and fly it over to my mission, that changes the way that you play the game. But again, I argue that every card that's made that interacts with the opponent does that. And I don't necessarily think that that's bad. I mean, moral choice means it's a different thing for Federation than it is for everybody else, and that card alters the way that you play Federation. If your deck is incapable of getting to 110 points, yeah, the Phoenix is going to be a really big problem for you. So stash some battle cards in your deck.
Give me a second. Let me think about it. Like, most people, and when they start getting all bent out of shape about a card, it's usually because they were caught off guard by the card, and then it messed them up. Now, if you know what card's coming, if I know the Phoenix is getting a lot of play, I'll pack my 4th mission. I'll pack a 40-pointer or something that gives me 10 extra points. It's always when, something catches you off guard. And doesn't that make a game fun when something catches you off guard? I mean, for the longest time, we saw the same missions and people, and all the same shit. So isn't this all good in the end of the day? That, oh shit, that caught me off guard. And now, you're gonna lose a game, but to bitch about it, to be like, oh, this is outrageous because I didn't know it was coming and I got fucked for 10 points, and I don't know.
I think the problem with the Phoenix is it combos well, and it's the easiest piece to go after. Like for example, the Phoenix plus that Starfleet mission, the automated repair station, that's crazy good because I can exceed engine output over there, and then as long as that mission's solved, it just repairs itself. And oh, look, you need 10 more points. I mean, that's what my deck did. That's the first problem is it combos really well. It combos really well with any other point drain, and granted, there's not a lot of point drain in 2E.
Yeah, but we have an event. We have an event that can turn that text into blank. Like there's plenty of designs.
Yes, and I agree that there are counter weapons to it. I think again the bigger problem with the Phoenix from my point of view is it's not aligned. It goes in every deck. Every deck can use it, and that's a thing. That's a mechanic that in the modern design philosophy would go to certain affiliations. Like, for example, I think the Dominion would be a great fit for that card. It's like, oh, look, the Dominion's hanging out at your planet. You need 10 extra points to win because you have to deal with these assholes. As an online card...
They have that in reverse. They have that in reverse.
They do have that in reverse. But, I mean, my point is, I think a lot of the complaints about Ducat and the Phoenix are the fact that they're almost universally available. And particularly with the Phoenix, it combos really well with other things. And if you go to look at how the combos work, the Phoenix is the only real attack vector against that combo. You can't really go after that mission. I guess you could, but...
All right, well, I'm going to have to say to Rogue, just fucking deal with it on that one. So what's his next card?
Well, we'll keep with not aligned. How about Shran and Bouncing Dilemmas?
Bro, that's taken care of. That problem's solved. I solved that shit. I don't even want to hear... Fuck Rogue. Fuck Shran. People talk about Shran still. God damn it, I haven't heard about Shran in years. Stop it. Next card.
Well, I think Shran is... while the non-aligned factor is true, he's much worse. Dilemma Choke is fundamentally broken. It's something that I think it's one of the few things I think the whole design team has agreed on that shouldn't exist. There shouldn't be anything that chokes your ability to draw dilemmas. And this isn't exactly choke. So what I mean by dilemma choke is I'm cutting off the number of dilemmas that you get to draw. So, the type of, there's 4 under, I attempt with 6, but I reduce the number you can draw, so you only get to draw 1. That's dilemma choke. And there are different ways you can do it, like a card that says your dilemmas cost more, that's a form of choke. Shran isn't strictly choking, but he's basically, I'm pulling dilemmas back, and that's making it so that it's harder for you to get through this mission. And in and of itself, that's not an inherently terrible thing. Shran is just he's a really good personnel with an incredibly good ability that I as the opponent can literally do nothing. The only thing I can do to stop Shran from working is not throw dilemmas at you. And
so I got let me what dilemma pile does Ingenious Jury Rig not fit into? Which one? Which one? Legacy? It fits in there, fine. Requires a skill. Unfair comparison costs 3. Tragic Turn? Fuck you. I don't care about that dilemma pile. And in a standard dilemma pile, it's great. It doesn't go under the mission. So what's stopping anybody from stocking 3 of those if you're Shran paranoid? You should probably have 2. You should automatically have 1 in your dilemma pile unless you're playing Tragic Turn. So I'm confused. I'm confused why we're even talking about Shran. Dan, answer the question.
Look, if you've got 1 or 2, or if you're going to take the bait, all 3 in a admittedly very large dilemma pile, the likelihood of it coming up when you need it most is pretty low. So if you're playing a low, slim dilemma pile where you actually get to see the whole thing, sure. If you're playing one of the dilemma piles you see out here in San Diego where you don't actually shuffle it ever because you never get to the end of it.
Well, I can't help it that you fuckers are playing 58-card dilemma piles. That's fucking silly.
No.
Silly shit.
58 is way too small. What are you talking about?
Exactly. That's silly shit. Now, if I'm playing, let's get back to fucking reality, away from you West Coast morons playing that kind of stuff. If I'm playing a 35-card dilemma pile and I'm stocking 2 Jury Rigs, and I'm going to have unexpected difficulties because it's the fucking greatest card ever, you might be able to get 1 Shran off against me, 1 in a game, maybe. I haven't been Shran. All right, 2013 I haven't played a lot of Trek, but I played a little bit, and but still, I have not been Shran in over 15 months, a year and a half, I haven't been Shran. And I played back at QuarterCon, no Shran. Didn't see him. So I don't know. A year and a half, 2 Texas regionals and 3 tournaments with top level players, and I haven't seen Shran. So I don't know what's going on the West Coast. I think you guys have some meta issues regarding Shran.
He's in about 30 decks in the last 6 months, but I have a feeling like a year ago that would have been
Yeah,
a lot.
Do you want him out of the game completely? I don't want him out of the game.
I don't want him out of the game.
I mean, like his ability. I like using Shran. It's dirty. I don't mind it. McCoy's worse than Shran still. If we're gonna grade of sin against sin.
Well, my biggest gripe with McCoy is that ability is like the worst ability ever for that character. But
yeah, it don't make no goddamn sense. Yeah, you're right.
But you could make the argument that there should be more weapons against dilemma removal, dilemma pullback, and maybe there should be, but I hate to agree. I mean, John's right. I mean, Ingenious Jury Rig was written to be as universally stockable as possible, and maybe we need another weapon in the game. I mean, you can disconcerting displacement Shran. You can just snipe him. There are specific targeted kill dilemmas out there.
Yeah, secret ID is ass. Secret ID is ass.
There's a mission. There's a mission that prevents you from pulling dilemmas that you can run in the right deck to get you through your first mission without Shran working. So. Yeah.
So I don't know. All I can say is if you're still bitching about Shran,
Shran is a terrible card. He shouldn't have been made. He's a bad card. I wish that he wasn't done, but.
And I don't mind him on a minor level. If I get off 1 or 2 Shrans before you didn't draw Jury Rig, you stocked 1 and you didn't draw it right away, and you don't get it out till mid game, and I get 1 or 2 Shrans off. Oh well. It is what it is.
All right, let me go to the top of the list, the last one I've got here, and that is any guesses?
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't. Is this the last one? No, there's another one on there still.
Number 1 on the list, yeah.
There's another one after that, too.
We're talking about, I guess both of these came from the same set, number 1 and number 5. All right, well, we'll just go to the number 1. It's the original thinker, James Kirk. Just totally destroys whatever dilemma you throw at him because he just goes away. I can't remember the last time I played with this guy because I'm not really a fan of throwing people that aren't going to be solving the mission, and when I see it played against me, usually I just ended up shuffling my dilemmas and throwing them out there and just letting the opponent make the decision. I don't think this one has been a well-received card since the very beginning because he has that Earth icon.
No, everybody hates this card. We all hate it. Charlie, were you? It was at Worlds. What's the player at Worlds? I was playing Pigman, Eric Pigman.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Ed Pigman, yeah.
Yeah, I think you were. I don't know if you were kind of watching, but I was playing him. I don't know if it was day 1 or 2, but he was playing OT Kirk, and I banged him twice, 2 Oracle's punishments, twice in 1 game. And he was just like, oh man, and I shuffled him up. I was like digging and diving. I was in his head. I was talking when I put it. I would talk to him, tell him what to do. So that made it fun. I turned, something that was shitty and made it fun just by fucking with him and making him decide what to do, which one of the 2 50-50 to pick. So I mean, there's an answer for OT Kirk, and that's a great design solution, Oracle's punishment, and that's all TOS has though. Like I was saying about TOS battle, once you're done blowing up your opponent's ships, you have to solve missions with a bunch of really shitty dudes in Kirk. Is all you have. So,
hey, that's great. Make it TOS only. That's fine. I'd be very happy with that.
So you just want to drop the. All right. So your problem is with the Earth icon on them.
Yeah.
But
that was a terrible decision made for marketing reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to wipe out all the movie Earth icons, and that's something.
You wouldn't, because none of the other ones matter. Kirk's the only one that's annoying out of that.
Well,
who cares if you have Savick in a TNG deck? She's stupid. Who cares? I wouldn't think it's worth errating.
I know. It makes it feel like we're admitting. Well, it's not our failure, but it's just saying if we just go back in time and if we just went back in time and took them all off, I feel like that's a better solution. Just be like, you know what? They fucked up, so we're fixing it. All Earth icons are gone. They're all TOS. That I'd be fine with. But just taking off OT Kirk is like cheap. Like we're just being like, we're being like,
Hey, I'll tell you what. Before we did this errata thing, Nick and I were like this close to a 2E ban list, and I'm still it's still in the back of my head. I know John's not a fan, but it's
Yeah,
still in
that
the
should
back
be a
of my
whole
head.
new debate. We don't need to do that. We don't need that. I'm good enough for the job. I'm good enough for the job.
Just shut up. Shut up. Not talking about whether we should or we shouldn't. He'd be the first card on the list. If we had one, he would be the first card on the list, followed by Rega, followed by Denatra, followed by Assess Contamination, because dilemma prevention is one of the worst mechanics ever created in the game. Created in the game.
The worst phrase in 2E is prevent and overcome. The second worst phrase in 2E is gain any skill.
I can't really disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
The gain any skill can work. Prevent and overcome, in theory, can work. And James and I had a big debate about this, because if you cost it right, in theory, it's an acceptable mechanic. The problem is...
Who?
James Hoskin. Who? Yeah, shut up. Everybody knows who James is. There's a lot of problems with OT Kirk. The big one of the big ones is the Earth icon. I mean, I think the biggest problem with him is that he makes the game just crawl. He makes the game crawl. Like, you see Kirk hit the table, and it's just like, oh my god, I have to do so much more mental processing. Like that, if I'm playing Kirk, if I play Kirk, I've got an advantage over you. Not only because Kirk is powerful, but now you have to burn so much more energy dealing with how to play your dilemmas than you would if he didn't exist. And that's a huge advantage on top of a hugely powerful card.
Is it Denatra right now worse than OT Kirk?
No, because there's a lot of stuff she doesn't work on.
Oh, but she can come back into play twice in a turn. Come on, man.
That's a good trick. That's a good trick. That's a good combo.
Oh, I like it as a player. It's cheap as... Oh, it's fucking chicken shit. But, I mean, it's a nice little combo. But it's not. Denatra is worse than OT Kirk right now. Let's play a different game. Fuck Rogue's List. Dan, we'll play the hit list. Name if you want to do a ban list. What would be your top 3 cards, Charlie? OT Kirk's 1. What are your other 2?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't ban specific cards. I'd ban everything that's prevent and overcome, everything that's not strongly affiliation enforced that lets you gain any skill, and my personal hatred is Dreamer in the Dream.
Oh, you can't have that card is so crucial in the game. That's a crucial card.
I have had a passionate hatred for that card since the day it was spoiled.
You're supposed to hate that card.
Yeah,
That's the point. You're supposed to use it, that card's necessary, because what if you're playing people who are playing Gorgons or Tactical Disadvantage, all that kind of horseshit? It's necessary.
The 3 things that I would ban: anything that's prevent and overcome, anything that's not strongly affiliation enforced that is gain any skill, and any non-aligned or universally available card that does something we want to be strongly affiliation enforced moving forward.
It's a pretty long list.
Yeah, you took a fun game and made it not fun. Dan, give me your top 3.
I got nothing. I mean, I'm the one who sits over here and plays with 3 stupid headquarters just trying to get a stupid achievement. I mean, I play at the highest level just to get a card, man. I'm not up there.
Yeah, but there's got to be cards you don't like. There's got to be cards you hate.
Yeah, I mean, I hated Quintessence when it was out, but it's been kind of beaten into submission. I don't like what Initiative Trust does, but what are you going to do about it? And I don't like the way the games that Kirk makes me play with my own mind. Usually, it just ends up being shuffling, and that's no fun. So there you go. There's 3.
I would ban Surprise Party. I would ban Kruge, and I'd ban Rogue Schindler. I don't want to see him in anywhere in my life. That guy.
It's funny. The last card on Rogue's list was Kruge. We never got to it. That was the one I said was in the same set.
He's on the watch list. So we finally got the one that's on the watch list. So.
Okay. Is it just a ridiculously cheap cost of activation or what?
Yes, I'm trying to say. I don't know. We like I said, we're about 90% transparent. I'm not going to name the what's in the file, what's going to go to playtesting, because I don't want to give it because that might get changed. But yeah, we had this has been some debate. This is our first good debate.
Wait. You know the show. We spoil things all the time that don't end up coming out right. So don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fuck it. All right. So we had some good debates. This is our first good debate in the errata team, the 5 of us, and it's like the Fox's 5, except we're not all scumbags and douchebags. But it's people want to change a lot of things. I'm on the trigger. What did you say? The trigger. It triggers on 4 people. I think that's the target in my mind. So right now that's If you left his ability as is, I think he would cost 5. He's a 5-cost personnel with his ability as is. But we're not going to change. And then, so yeah, it's the trigger on 4 because a lot of things you can get down to 4 personnel real easy in this game. It's a lot. 4 is a lot smaller number than what people think. And then, but some of the concerns with the team was that he's going to be no longer useful, and he's a 2-cost personnel with all the skills for protect the escapees. So I have a hard time believing that no matter what we do to Kruge, that he won't be useful in a Klingon deck.
Well, he's a 2-cost past icon too that you can drop to turn on your other past icon discounts. So.
Yeah, we could make his ability blank. I could blank his ability, and he's still a good personnel. So, but that's what we're going to focus on at first. This is going to playtest, so don't hold me to it. But I think that's the linchpin is that the number of personnel he triggers on.
All right. So it would come up. You'd have to put a lot more effort into cleaning out the ship, is what you're saying, before he could fire off the capture.
Well, I think the spirit of the card was him snatching abandoned ships. That's what I think the spirit of the card was.
Sure.
Getting story-wise into it. I don't think he should be snatching up. Getting captives isn't really what the story-wise I think it was. So yeah, you either got to really wipe them out, which is fine. You earned it. If you wipe out just about everybody, that's fine. Or if they leave a ship parked on a planet, I have no problem with Kruge sniping your ship. So.
Well, one of my problems with Kruge now, even then, was capture is out of character for Klingons. Capture is A, out of character, and B, out of their mechanical part of the affiliation guide. It shouldn't be something they do, even as a splash. Like, if that was a Cardassian, if that ability was on a Cardassian, I'd love it. It'd be golden, it'd be aces. It needed to be costing more, but putting it on a Klingon was kind of shady.
Yeah, they fucked up. Yeah, that was that's a whole.
No, I mean they made a cool card that they wanted to be powerful. Yeah. That worked in both games. That's where it came from. So.
Charlie, have you ever seen that in first edition?
I have never seen Kruge in first edition. No.
Yeah, neither have I. All right.
I don't think there is a first edition Kruge. Is there?
No, he's backwards compatible. That Kruge specifically is.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of the Genesis guys. They're all not so great, but backwards compatible. All right.
So is that it? Have we exhausted Rogue's
we have
Schindler's List? Did we
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be delighted to hear that we talked about all of them when he comes back from his little vacation in the real world.
And you know what? I want to make clear, everybody's got a hit list of cards that they hate, and I appreciate that, and I always want to hear about them. As a person who's sort of overseeing design, I want to hear about that. I want to know. And I may not agree with you, and you may not like the decisions that get made, but it's good to have these discussions. So, good. Keep suggesting what you don't like about the game, and we'll keep trying to make it better. But, I would rather have... It's better for everybody to have cards they love and cards they hate than everybody to be ambivalent about every card. So.
Fair enough. John, what's the best way for the people who have cards that they hate to let you know and the team know about cards that they hate and why? Is it just posting on the board, sending you a private message? What's the best way?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have there's like no official nominating process, but if people, it has happened already. People send me PMs, and unless it's a manifesto rant, I throw it up on the errata team boards, and then I get their feedback, and then. I mean, if they think it should go on the list, I usually I listen to them. If there's enough votes to put it on the list, then it'll go on the list. But I mean, we've had a couple people. I've had stuff. The Chuckles brothers, people, Gum 2, Issue of Trust. I mean, people have submitted suggestions, and they've gone. And the team. I mean, nothing's really stuck yet. Most people, like I said, Gum 2 and Issue of Trust, things have been. That's more of a design issue, but that's that's fine. Yeah, send a PM, send a short reason why you don't think the card's good for business. I'll put it up on the errata team board, and if I usually do it pretty democratically. If there's three of the five people think it should go on the list, I'll put it on the list.
All right, and if for some reason someone has you blocked as a person on the boards and can't PM you, is there someone to go through?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've been ignored in a long time. I think because you can ignore people on the boards. That's still an option?
Yeah.
I don't. It's probably been a long. If you've done that in the last year or so, then you're a little too sensitive. But that's all. That's old news. That's old. Like, you know, I don't know who's. If you're still blocking me, I mean, come on. Let's be real.
You're a team player now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've sold out according to some people. So yeah.
I will say, if you, for whatever reason, do not feel like you can talk to John, send your message to Nick.
Yeah, bitch to Nick. Nick's you know, he's director Nick Fury, and then I'm Captain America. So just go up the Shield ladder. Go to level 10. I'm only level 8.
All right, brilliant. Charlie, did you bring something to talk about as far as that other game that we play?
I did. This is going to be interesting because I'm going to do something different, and I got something from Johnny this weekend, but it's not digital.
Herpes.
I got herpes, indeed.
That is definitely not digital.
So we're going to take a look at a dilemma.
What, are you just going to hold it up to the camera?
Yep, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Here's your sheet. Let's see if I can do this. Anybody see that?
Oh, it went out. The camera went out. Oh, man.
Wow, I see sabotage, plasma conduit, scapegoat, and unscheduled something.
Yes.
All right.
So the one in the middle is scapegoat. It's from the Maquis story where Parn shows up to the. I gotta click on my. There we go. Parn shows up to blame Ducat for the accident. There's 3 spoilers on there. I'm terrible at this.
Welcome to Reading Rainbow with Charlie playing.
Yes. So it's a space dilemma. It's called Scapegoat. To avoid escalating violence between Cardassian and Federation settlers, Cardassian Central Command blamed Gul Dukat for supplying weapons to the demilitarized zone. One personnel random selection is killed unless you stop a personnel with VIP or anthropology. To get past requires integrity greater than 24 remaining.
All right.
That is one of the starter dilemmas.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a starter or a good first kind of little mini wall so you don't anti-red shirt.
Yep. And the VIP and Anthro aren't super common skills, so, I mean, that could kill somebody. Straight up.
John, when's the last time you played a game of 1E?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. No, I can't lie. Like whenever there's new 1E cards, each day I'll look at them, like to make 1996 John very happy. So I always keep track of like looking at them and reading them. And then when I start getting that one itch to be like, you know, maybe, and then I think of the work involved, and then playing 1E again. I'm like, nah, I can't. I don't have it in me. I always joke around with Alex, you know, my 1E buddy back in Philly, that we're going to be old men playing 1E in a nursing home one day, which is fine. I eventually will start playing 1E again. But, I mean, I still like to play, I'll play anything sealed. I'll still play sealed. I got 7 packs of OTSD cards I have to use, so either at Gen Con or Minnesota. You know, I'll get it in. I like 1E in its pure, terrible original format with Borg ships flying around, blowing everything up.
All right. We won't subject you to any more 1E talk. John, where can folks find you?
Where can they find me?
Yeah,
hopefully not in jail. Hopefully they can find me on the street.
John, you got another show that you do, right? Are you making any more episodes anytime soon?
Want me to plug the show? Yeah, tomorrow is our mid-season finale,
okay.
And we're gonna have the Great Insurrection debate. So it's gonna be nice and sloppy. I think I got Kevin Yeager and Nate Weiniger, and but before we wrap it up, I want Charlie's predictions for Minnesota Continentals. Minnesota's finally on the main stage, putting on a big event in this Taj Mahal of gaming, Fantasy Flight Center. So who's your prediction for Continentals, Charlie?
Man, we got regionals to get through with before we even really talk about Continentals, and just to fact check you, this is not the first time they've had a big event. They ran Continentals the first year, I think, 2008.
It's fucking time machine shit. 2000 fucking.
I'm just saying, it's not the first fucking time they've had a big event.
That fucking Continentals. It was 12 Minnesota Wastelanders sitting in a room playing. This is going to be a big one. This is going to be. People are coming in.
Is Ken Tufts coming out?
I think he is. Yeah.
Come on the spot. Who's going to win Continentals?
Chris, I think Chris will win it.
Oh, you did that just to troll me.
Nope. I think. Look, I think it would be a story for the ages if it was Chris versus John in the final. You're gonna choke because you always choke.
No, not at Continentals. I've choked one time at Continentals.
I'm telling you, this.
How do I choke at This is my tournament. I'm the only 2-time champion.
You are my big money pick for Worlds this year. I think this whole I don't get to play anymore. I'm an old man. I think you're throwing everybody off. I think you're gaming the system.
That is my. Everyone knows the storyline I'm running. The reports of my death are greatly.
Your Cinderella story here. You're Villanova. You're making a run at the title.
Cinderella Man. I'm doing the Cinderella Man storyline. TK's right, man. I'm done. I'm washed up. I can't play this game no more.
I think Chris is going to play. I think Chris is coming to Worlds. I think he's excited about it. I think he's got the home court advantage. He's going to know the majority of the players there. And he's my pick. If you put me on the spot right now, Chris wants to be lore.
All right.
2014 North American Continental Champion. For
Dan,
2 weeks.
Dan, give me your pick. You better say John Corbett.
Oh, John, I pick you every time because
you're my number one.
I'd love to see you in the finals. I'm looking for another smoke machine incident. I'm looking for something fun. Come on.
I'm flying, so I can't bring any Titantron equipment with me. But Dan, I love you. You and Rogue are my yin and my yang. You love me, and Rogue despises me. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with Section 31.
All right. Well, we've been chatting for long enough. Let me wrap this up. Thanks, John, for joining us. Thanks, Charlie, for joining us. I'm going to thank we're Section 31. I'm thanking Warp 11. It's another name with a number on the back, for letting us use their song for our theme. And until next week, Rogue should be back and joining us. Maybe he'll listen to this show and have some comments for us when he gets back. But I will tell you all to expand your power in the universe, and we'll draw to end. Thanks, guys.